I think the best way to answer that is, if you're looking at a blanket statement, I would say with HRT, the most kind of profound impact that women tend to feel is on their cognition and on their sleep. If you're looking at it in terms of outwardly how they feel, if you're looking at it in terms of biochemical markers, you will actually see that there's an improvement in cholesterol. You'll see there's an improvement in bone health, because there's so much evidence to obviously let us know that actually estrogen, progesterone are so important for those areas, along with everything else. So, with that in mind, again, just to say it's a personalized approach, and actually HRT works out best when individuals have essentially optimized the basic of their health. So although HRT has a brilliant role in making us feel better, making us healthier for longer, because obviously we have a lifespan, but we also have a health span, which means we want to be healthier for longer in that lifespan, and HRT really helps with that. So it helps with heart health, it helps with low mood, it helps with all of those things. So it would depend on the individual, what they're seeking to obtain from their treatment, and whether they have actually conquered all the other kind of elements which are really important for health in general. So I say, treatment for perimenopause and menopause is like a jigsaw puzzle, essentially. Some people may have the sleep, that puzzle already, and they're all good, but they may not have the exercise in place. Therefore, there's that piece missing of the jigsaw puzzle. So it works. HRT is actually a piece of that puzzle. It's not necessarily the puzzle itself. So what you would obtain in terms of health gains is totally individual. So if somebody has great nutrition and great gut health, but they're having awful sleep, suddenly we add an element of the estrogen along with the progesterone, and as progesterone is kind of like a relaxing hormone, they will find that their sleep has improved. So it's I don't know if I've answered your question. I might have gone about a roundabout way, but it is so individualized in terms of how a woman would feel. But the most that I hear from patients who have responded really well to HRT is the fact that their sleep is better and they're starting to feel like themselves again in terms of their cognition. I think it's important to have like an analogy at this stage. So for example, if somebody had thyroid dysfunction, then we would do a blood test and we would give them the right amount of thyroxine that they specifically need. We wouldn't give everybody 100 micrograms, right? So why would we do the same for HRT, right? The other thing that kind of is important is your dosage for HRT would be different if you're perimenopausal to if you're postmenopausal. So generally when a woman is in the perimenopausal stage, that is the most erratic time for hormones. They would be, within range, 1 month, they would be, off the charts. Another month, they'll be super low the next month after that. So that's what's happening in the perimenopausal stage. So generally what we're doing is we are baselining it by potentially higher doses if that's required. So that would be the estrogen element of it. If you're looking at the progesterone element of it, not everybody needs it. So if, that's given for endothelial protection, if you're on estrogen, so if somebody's had a hysterectomy, for example, they may not need the progesterone. So therefore you wouldn't give everybody progesterone. There's another element of the testosterone. So for example, if you have, again, I'm saying baseline for testosterone, if you have a woman who's been really athletic her entire life, and her testosterone may be higher to somebody who's not as athletic. So when they're going through the perimenopause, menopause stage, do they need the same amount of testosterone? Do those two people need the same amount of testosterone? No, they don't. So the other thing that's important is, like I found with patients that trauma they've gone through over their kind of life, that will impact their cortisol level, right? So when it impacts their cortisol level, it impacts their stress response, it increases insulin resistance. So they may find that actually, because their cortisol is off whack, their kind of blood sugar regulation is off whack, they may need a higher amount of estrogen than somebody who's not had that trauma. So, it's so, I mean, I'm hoping I'm getting across that actually it's not just about your current health, it's about past health, which will impact how the individual, responds and how much they need for each of these hormones. So this is why it's so important that you're not looking at, oh, well, my friend's on this, and this, therefore I should be the same. Actually, no, it's according to you, according to your current health, your past health, and also according to your lifestyle, which has its own role in optimizing health during this stage.